I want to talk to you about how to transition from your retail job to your new entry level tech job. It's not very hard. The steps are simple. You just got to do it. What do I mean by that? Well, I got the keys to success. My first job was back in 1947. Back in 2010, my first job was at Michael Kors. My second job was at Banana Republic. Then I got a job at another retail company, Kiehl's Skincare. I liked all of my retail jobs because they got me money, and it was like a nice little job to have while in college, specifically during the holiday season. It made it really easy for me to make money and so forth. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to do it. No matter where you live in the US, as long as you have access to the internet and a computer, you can get a tech job. Like, it's not impossible to do this. If you decide that you're tired of working like the dead end type jobs, no, I shouldn't say it like that, but if you're tired of working the entry level retail jobs or the entry level restaurant jobs, then this might be like a really good thing for you. Let's recognize the pros. Why it's actually not a bad idea to get a retail job. There's a simpler application process. You blast your resume out to like maybe 10, 20 companies. You go through an interview process. Typically is about maybe 2 process interview. There's not a lot of steps involved in that. Otherwise, if you want to follow up with them or whatnot, then they decide whether or not they want to hire you. You decide whether or not you want to take it. And then you have the job. It's not very complicated. It's very simple. Another pro of having a retail or restaurant job is that what you may not recognize, and I didn't recognize this either until I left retail, is that you don't think very much about work outside of work, typically speaking, unless you're a manager or something like that. But like as like an entry level restaurant, entry level retail job, you don't think about work when you're not on the clock. Stress-free outside of work, your time is yours mentally. It's easy money. Not only is it easy to get this job, but it's also easy to hold. This type of entry-level work is not about figuring out what to do or like how to do it. So the process is relatively straightforward and simple. You don't have to put in a lot of effort to like keep the job. You just come to work, do the job, and then go home. Like, that's the expectation of the role. And there's a great opportunity to try different things. Let's say that you don't want to be at a certain retail or restaurant company. You can blast the resume off to another company, try for a different company, maybe try a different role there as well too, easier than you could with any other corporate type job. So I totally get why people start off in retail. I started off in retail. I think it's a great start to start off in retail. Start is the key word. Where are you going after you start? Let's talk about some of the cons and the reasons why it may not be a good idea to stay in the entry-level retail/restaurant service jobs. One reason is automation. In the future, if it is possible for your job to be automated, it might happen to your role. Think about it. If you're a business owner, if you could save money by not hiring people to do a particular job, wouldn't you want to save money? This is why it's good to start there to get the experience that you can so that you can move up and maybe out of that role. It can also be a dead-end job, meaning that if you do not strategize appropriately to get out of that role, you will be qualified to do another job exactly like the one that you're currently doing. What may have started as you getting a summer job or a seasonal role could be all that you're qualified for if you do not strategize how to collect the skills to get out of that type of job. except maybe to become a manager in that role, and there's nothing wrong with doing that if that's what you want to do. It's about applying the mindset to level up. Like, some people have complained that the company might just see them as a means to an end. The people are there to make money. Your coworkers don't probably care about the job that much. Hence, it's going to like show itself, you know, in how they put in work when they come to work. Like, they're not gonna really care about the actual company or perhaps even you. It's just like, I'm there to make money and go home. Boom. Now, on for the great news that we've all came here to hear. What do I need to do to get a job in this tech company that you spoke about? Please tell me, what do I need to do to get a job? Okay, glad you asked. You have to strategize. What do I mean by that? You have to go out and find the role that is a fit for you. I don't think a lot of people really understand this, but like, that job exists. You just have to go out and do your homework to find it. Once you get the interview for the job, it takes work. Interviewing for a tech job is a little bit more intense than interviewing for a retail job. Fundamentally, they're the same in the sense that you got to do your homework, come prepared, come with the right attitude. But typically when you're applying for a tech job, you have to show them that you actually care about being there long term, because it is something that the people are passionate about that work there. And at the end of the interview process, you have to know how to negotiate for it. You have to really know how to advocate for yourself. Typically in a retail job, it's like, hey, you get paid $15 an hour. You start on this day. You want to negotiate your salary when you start off in an entry-level tech job, or else you can be underpaid and think that it's okay because you don't know any better. Do your homework. Speak up for yourself. Like you do to them customers that you be getting mad at who be fighting over socks during Christmas, because they're offering more money typically than what you would get in a retail job. My boyfriend works at Google, and he mentioned that like it's a 3-month process for software engineers to get a job at Google. Of course, it's Google. Typically for an entry-level role that I'm talking about, it may not take up to 3 months, but still know that it takes some time. They may give you take-home projects to work on, and that's the way that you prove during the interview process that you can do the job, or that you have the thought process to do the job well. How do you think? You gotta be prepared for those things. Negotiating your salary, you need to think about things like 401k, stock plan, bonus, base salary, commissions, all that stuff. Part of negotiating your salary is understanding what the company is looking for and what value you will bring to that company. Keep in mind, it doesn't mean you can't do it just because you've never done it before. This is just something to prepare for, so that when you are getting your tools ready to start applying, these are what you need to be expecting during the interview process. Another thing you should think about, there's more competition for the role. People are coming from all over the state, all over the country, depending on the type of tech company that it is. Like if you're applying for Twitter, yes, you will have competition with people that live all over maybe the world, in fact. Don't let it intimidate you from going for it anyway. Just even more so the reason why you have to be prepared, because you have more competition, and the competition are people that actually care about the company. Gotta do your homework. A good way to prepare for being able to compete with the competition is going out, talking to people, learning about how you can level up your skills, maybe have coffee chats with the people that work at the company that you want to work at to learn about what the culture is like, expectations, all that other stuff. Think about it this way. It would actually be a lot easier if you got referred for the role as opposed to just applying on the website. Granted, if you don't know anyone that could refer you, apply on the website. But why not take that extra step to get to know people at networking events like meetup.com or LinkedIn resources? Okay, so the next thing I want to hit on is the skills that you already probably have that can roll over into an entry-level tech job. This is why I think you can actually do it. And I'm going to tell you why. Being adaptable, think about it. How many times being adaptable, just let that soak in. Being adaptable. Think of a time when you worked and you needed to be adaptable. Okay. You have to have the ability to self-advocate for yourself. If you haven't done this before, you can practice at your retail job.